What happens when an Illinois driver gets a ticket in another state? Let's dive into that right now because you need to know how it can affect your license here in Illinois. Hi, I'm attorney Derek Martin with Driver Defense Team. Our law firm fights a few thousand traffic tickets every year. We get calls all the time from Illinois drivers who got a ticket in another state, whether it's something nearby like Indiana or Wisconsin or Iowa, or, they're off on vacation or out for work or whatever, and they get a ticket in another state, any of the 49 states, right? Well, I need you to know that that ticket is most likely going to be reported back to Illinois. Well, said more accurately, the outcome of that ticket is going to be reported back to Illinois. So let's go into the details there. If you are able to get that ticket dismissed in the other state, well, that's great. There's nothing to report back to Illinois. Or you're found not guilty. Nothing to report back to Illinois. Illinois is not going to do anything. But if there's another outcome, like a conviction, or even like a reduced charge, depending on what it's reduced to, that information is almost certainly going to get transmitted back to Illinois, the Illinois Secretary of State down in Springfield. And so the reason I say almost certainly is because most of the 50 states communicate with each other. There's basically a law that some states have sort of opted into where they agree to share information. The majority of states are part of that compact, that agreement. Some are not, but the majority are. And so the best bet is to assume that even though this ticket's in another state, my home state, Illinois, for the people that I'm talking to, my home state is going to find out about it. So an Illinois lawyer can't help you in this scenario. An Illinois lawyer is only allowed to represent people on Illinois tickets. What you need is a lawyer, traffic lawyer, criminal lawyer, DUI lawyer, whatever your situation is. You need a lawyer in that state or that county even, that area, someone who practices in that courthouse wherever you received the ticket. So pull out your ticket, look at the state, obviously, look at the county, look at the courthouse, and start doing your research to figure out who that lawyer can be. Or, of course, if you want to represent yourself on that and you can do that, fine, whatever. But just know that outcome will be reported back to Illinois. Now, the Illinois laws and the laws in that other state are not the exact same. Traffic laws vary from state to state. So what happens when you get a ticket like in another state that maybe doesn't match up exactly with a type of offense in Illinois? That happens, right? Let's use a speeding ticket for an example. Well, a speeding ticket's easy, right? Like how fast were you going over the speed limit? What was the outcome? And that's what then gets reported here in Illinois. But some other things, things like strange things, lane changes, registration, they have different insurance laws, different laws as it relates to, an accident. Here we typically call it failure to reduce speed to avoid an accident. In other states, they often call it something different. And so what happens then when those two laws, the Illinois law and the other state, don't match up perfectly? Well, Secretary of State here in Illinois has sort of done their work to match them up as best they can. And so they'll find one that is sort of similar. And they'll put that on your record. It's kind of not fair, right? And I've seen instances where it's like, that's not really what happened in that other state, yet they put it on the Illinois record. So it's not always perfectly fair. And again, that's why I think you really need to handle your ticket the right way in that other state, right? Do whatever you can to avoid a conviction. Now, if you were to get a conviction, again, it would get reported back to Illinois, and Illinois would treat it just like they do, a ticket here, right? They're going to take that conviction and apply it. They're going to assess points in that, depending on whether or not you're over the threshold, it can cause your license to be suspended. So an out-of-state ticket can cause your license to be suspended here in Illinois. So again, the rule here is, the principle here that I want you to take away from this video is that you need to handle your out-of-state tickets the right way. Don't just say like, oh, I'm 1,000 miles from home, whatever, I'll just ignore it, or I'll just pay it and plead guilty. That will follow you back to Illinois, most likely. So you're probably better off engaging some sort of lawyer there or talking to some lawyer about what can be done to minimize the impact of that out-of-state ticket. I hope you found that helpful. The last point I want to say here is if you don't handle it the right way and you do get too many convictions and, those happen to be out of state, there's not anything an Illinois lawyer can do. Like, I can't go to California and fix that ticket for you. So you're kind of out of luck, and so you really, really need to handle it the right way the first time. Hope that you got that point there. I've said it a couple of times, so I just really, don't want to see somebody get suspended if it can be avoided. So hope you found this helpful if you happen to be in this situation, and best of luck.